A goal without a plan is just a wish. What saves a man is to take a step, then another step. Perfection is achieved, not when there is nothing more to add, but when there is nothing left to take away. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye. The time for action is now. It's never too late to do something. The most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or touched. They are felt with the heart. Grown-ups never understand anything by themselves, and it is tiresome for children to be always and forever explaining things to them. If you want to build a ship, don't drum up the men to gather wood. Divide the work and give orders. Instead, teach them to yearn for the vast and endless sea. What makes the desert beautiful is that somewhere it hides a well. The important thing is not to predict the future, but to be ready for it. One sees clearly only with the heart. Anything essential is invisible to the eyes. He who has gone, so we but cherish his memory, abides with us, more potent, nay, more present than the living man. Love is not just looking at each other, it's looking in the same direction. I have no right, by anything I do or say, to demean a human being in his own eyes. What matters is not what I think of him, but what he thinks of himself. To be a man is precisely to be responsible. True happiness comes from the joy of deeds well done, the zest of creating things new. The machine does not isolate man from the great problems of nature, but plunges him more deeply into them. War is not an adventure, it is a disease. It is like typhus. A rock pile ceases to be a rock pile, the moment a single man contemplates it, bearing within him the image of a cathedral. I know but one freedom, and that is the freedom of the mind. It is in the compelling zest of high adventure and of victory, and in creative action, that man finds his supreme joys. The one thing that matters is the effort. Life has meaning only in the struggle. Triumph or defeat is in the hands of the gods, so let us celebrate the struggle. Each man must look to himself to teach him the meaning of life. It is not something discovered, it is something molded. I fly because it releases my mind from the tyranny of petty things. When you give yourself, you receive more than you give. One can be a brother only in something, where there is no tie that binds men. Men are not united but merely lined up. To love is not to look at one another, it is to look together in the same direction. What is essential is invisible to the eye. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. Love is the only thing that grows when shared. The meaning of things lies not in the things themselves, but in our attitude towards them. I do not believe that sheer suffering teaches. If suffering alone taught, all the world would be wise, since everyone suffers. To suffering must be added mourning, understanding, patience, love, openness, and the willingness to remain vulnerable. To love is not to possess, but to offer. It is in loving, not in being loved, that the heart is blessed. The more I read, the more I acquire, the more certain I am that I know nothing. I have no right to say or do anything that diminishes a man in his own eyes. What matters is not what I think of him, but what he thinks of himself. A chief is a man who assumes responsibility. He says, "I was beaten." He does not say, "My men were beaten." Only the unknown frightens men, but once a man has faced the unknown, that terror becomes the known. Love is an endless mystery, for it has nothing else to explain it. Life is a gift, and if we agree to accept it, we must contribute in return. True love begins when nothing is looked for in return. The stars are beautiful because of a flower that cannot be seen. If you judge people, you have no time to love them. When I opened my eyes, I saw nothing but the pool of nocturnal sky, for I was lying on my back with outstretched arms, face to face with that hatchery of stars. A designer knows he has achieved perfection, not when there is nothing left to add, but when there is nothing left to take away. You become responsible forever for what you have tamed. One day I shall be 100 years old, but I will not have a day off. Life has a meaning only if one barters it day by day for something other than itself. I do not know what makes the desert beautiful. Perhaps it is the fact that somewhere it hides a well. He who would travel happily must travel light. When we give up the chase, we give up our wishing. I do not know how to distinguish between our waking life and a dream. Are we not always living the life that we imagine we are? A life without love is of no account. Don't ask yourself what kind of love you should seek, spiritual or material, divine or mundane, Eastern or Western. Divisions only lead to more divisions. Love has no labels, no definitions. It is what it is, pure and simple. The notion of looking on at life has always been hateful to me. What am I if I am not a participant? In order to be, I must participate. I know what I have given you. I do not know what you have received. A civilization is built on what is required of men, not on that which is provided for them. What matters most are the simple pleasures so abundant that we can all enjoy them. Happiness doesn't lie in the objects we gather around us. To find it, all we need to do is open our eyes. I do not pray for success. I ask for faithfulness. The meaning of the world lies not in the magnificence of the world, but in its meaning. It is the time you have wasted for your rose that makes your rose so important. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel to watch more.